All right, guys, I wanted to kind of wait until the smoke clears a little about this Jimmy Butler fiasco that's going on. And what I wanted to do is kind of look at the other trade offers. We already know about the Dallas one. Obviously, I've heard other people's comments on the Dallas trade offer for Jimmy Butler. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't worth it. You had a lot of fanboys, not necessarily of the Dallas Mavericks, but just of superstardom, top teams, top big teams, which Dallas is one of them because they went to the finals last year, saying, you can have the quadruple of Jimmy Butler and Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, and Luka Doncic. And I'm like, okay, and what are we getting? Galford and who else? That's not a fair trade. And do you honestly think Miami's going to take that? Then I saw some crazy trade for the Suns, which I've already stated in my last video. That's not going to happen. We're not taking Bradley Beal. He also has a non-trade clause, which makes that deal even more of a hassle to really happen. That is not going to happen. We should already know that. And then when you look at the trade package with the Warriors. You got the Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins. Well, Andrew Wiggins has a contract we don't want to deal with, number one. It does match his Butler, but it's a contract we don't want. Kuminga is nice, but I feel like that trade to me is not going to fix what we're trying to do right now. Because as of now, if you trade Jimmy Butler, yes, Tyler Hero is still your top scorer. He's going to be your top option on offense, but you don't replace Jimmy Butler's production because as Bam Adebayo is not, and I'm going to make a separate video on him and Eric Spoelstra later, but I'll get into that later. So the Warriors trade offer package is not great. The Suns trade package is just a no. The Dallas Mavericks trade package is incomplete. That's a no. Houston, it's kind of like the Warriors trade package as like, I don't think we're getting enough back with the Houston Rockets. Okay, what are you going to give us? You're going to give us Amen Thompson. You may give us Jabari. But after that, we're going to get a couple second-round picks. Ugh. For the production Jimmy Butler's giving us, I don't think that's worth it. But in all honesty, that would be the most realistic out of the ones I've stated so far. Now, let's talk about the trade package I like. We already know the rumblings about the Sacramento Kings and De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox seems to not be willing to resign within 2 years when he becomes a free agent. And he basically wants out. And if I was the Kings, I would probably trade him. And like I said, there's been some rumors and rumors that he's possibly on the trade market. So what that means to me is the Sacramento Kings are looking for possible suitors. What better trade to make than the Jimmy Butler and the De'Aaron Fox swap? He also has a connection with Bam Adebayo, which is great. That's good. They were drafted together. I remember wanting Dennis Smith Jr. or De'Aaron Fox on the Miami Heat, but we ended up getting Bam Adebayo, which, it worked out either way. But definitely, Dennis Smith Jr. didn't pan out well in the NBA, and De'Aaron Fox is obviously an all-star. And if you ask me, and I'm being realistic, guys, I appreciate everything Bam Adebayo has done for us, but if you ask me today, straight up, who would I want out of Bam and De'Aaron Fox? I feel like it's easier to replace Bam than De'Aaron Fox, and I'm going to keep it at that. I think De'Aaron Fox production is not something that you can just replace. It's hard to find people like De'Aaron Fox. It's not that hard to find people like Bam Adebayo. There's a lot of players like Bam Adebayo in the league, and I'm just going to keep it at that. Now, I'm not dying to down what Bam Adebayo does is not great. Bam Adebayo, to me, should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. But my point is, De'Aaron Fox, a guy like that at that guard position that can just physically abuse the opponent. That's that type of production. I mean, he's like a Russell Westbrook. Not as flashy, not as like dominant as per se, but he's smooth with it at that speed. Like the guy has crazy speed. He can beat you off the first step, the whole nine. But back to my original point, because I'm getting off of what I was talking about. If I had to make a deal, it would have to be Jimmy Butler and De'Aaron Fox. But I just wasted 5 minutes telling you things that's probably not going to happen. We all know the Jimmy Butler deal is not going to happen. Pat Riley already stated he's not trading Jimmy Butler. I should have known better to even think that Butler was going to get traded. And people are trying to play damage control and say, well, Jimmy Butler didn't really ask for a trade. What he was trying to say is, if you're going to trade me, I prefer to be traded before the deadline instead of this summer. Now, if I'm Jimmy Butler, it doesn't really. I mean, I guess if his mindset is, okay, if you trade me before the summer, I can renegotiate with a team and try to get the money I'm looking for. If I'm thinking in Jimmy Butler's head and his agent's head, maybe that's what he means. But as far as like where his head is right now, I mean, look, if I'm the Miami Heat, I try to keep him, and I just run this. I run it. And I think that's what they're going to do anyway. Just run it. He's supposed to be coming back after, I think, the road trip. I have to look at the schedule again and see when our road trip ends. But he's supposed to be back after that, pretty much when we get back home to Miami. By the way, that loss to Atlanta last night stings so much. I gotta make a video about that too. But anyway, again, I'm gonna make a video about Bam and Spoelstra later today. But that's how I feel, or that's what I know so far, and that's what I think will happen. I think the Miami Heat are just gonna stand pat. They're gonna run this out. I mean, you might as well. You had them for 6 years. Roll the dice and see what happens. And I think this summer, we'll see. Have the popcorn ready, because that's what the Miami Heat's about at this stage. It's about clicks, and it's not about winning. And I'm a very frustrated, disgruntled Heat fan, because I watched us go to the final. I know I didn't make videos I stopped around 2020, and I didn't make videos really about the final series. And I know I made videos, and I damn sure didn't make videos last year about or 2 years ago about the final series in Denver. But we went to the finals in 2020. That was hard to watch. It was the bubble. Wasn't happy with the outcome, but I felt like we really didn't. It wasn't really our fault. It was more of an injury thing. But against Denver Nuggets, that right there is kind of why I'm gonna bring up the video about Spo and Bam. But I keep digressing. All in all, I think Eric Spoelstra, I say Eric Spoelstra because I got him on my mind right now for the next video. I think, like I said, I think the Heat are just going to keep everyone. They're going to roll the dice. They may make a trade during the trade deadline to add to this team. If I was the Miami Heat, I would try to trade Rozier for. I think Rozier doesn't fit with this team. I think they need to. If you're going to trade someone, you're going to need to trade Rozier. I don't think he fits well with this team. I think he is a player that does good on bad teams, like rebuilding teams, and he's like the number one option. I think that's the only time when Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, shines. I don't think he shines in this offense. I don't think he shines on a team that has a Tyler Hero, that has a Bam Adebayo, that has a Jimmy Butler, But that's just my 2 cents. If you're going to trade someone, trade Terry Rozier. But this video is almost 10 minutes. You guys tell me what you think. He liked for 305 out. And Let's get it.